Let's put these NFL receiver prospects into a tier list. After a weak class last year that maybe had one or two guys in the star tier, we have a lot of top level dudes in this draft. First up, the most underrated receiver prospect in recent memory, we have Brian Thomas Jr., and he belongs at the top of the star tier. He led all receivers in touchdowns and was super productive this season. He also is one of the best in the class at beating press coverage. He has a top 3 release in the group and is super athletic. He had the 10th best combine ever for a wide receiver according to relative athletic score. The superstar tier is very exclusive, and I think Thomas can be better at the catch point, and that's the only thing stopping him from going up. For me, he's a high-level star / low-level superstar. Expect to see some Pro Bowls from him. Next, we have an interesting one in Malachi Corley. He didn't measure or test the combine due to illness, so this is purely off film. He has impressive yak ability, but his release and route running are still raw. He projects to be more of a gadget-type player. He has a ways to go before being a starting-level receiver, but he does bring enough value to earn some touches here and there. For that reason, he's going the rotational tier. Now, Malik Neighbors, he's a star. Malik is at the top of this class when it comes to explosiveness. He's rapid, and his short strides allow him to make quick cuts and changes in direction. He's an elite weapon from the slot. Malik is incredibly tough and fights for every yard. He isn't consistent enough on the outside against press for me to put him in the superstar tier, but he is a game changer and is a high-level star. Ladd McConkey, possibly the best route runner in this group. He's incredibly smooth in the way he manipulates defenders and creates separation out of his breaks. He can consistently win on the outside and in the slot, and he is sure-handed. This guy will be productive for a long time in the NFL, and for that reason, he is in the star tier, just behind Thomas and Neighbors. Ricky Pearsall, the slot specialist, he's a quick dude and has good hands. He doesn't have the size or speed to play on the outside, but he is effective from the inside. He'll play a Randall Cobb type role for whatever team picks him, as he fits into the wide receiver 3 / wide receiver 4 tier. Devontae Walker, we can slide him in as a starter. Walker has blazing speed on the outside and a long frame. He can be a weapon like Mike Wallace was during his Pittsburgh days. He's a constant deep threat to defenses and really impressed me when he played against Clemson and Nate Wiggins. He's not as proficient in the intermediate game and doesn't have the best yak ability, which is why I see him as more of a wide receiver 2. Keon Coleman, he is a strong outside receiver who has maybe the best collection of contested catches on his highlight tape. He's a great red zone weapon and has an impressive catch radius. His release and route running didn't impress me on tape, and that is why he's a tier below the star players. His feet can be slow and he doesn't sell routes well, but he can still be a productive player in the NFL, and his game speed is good. Marvin Harrison, straight to superstar. Harrison's in a tier of his own. He dominated his competition in college. He's got an elite size and speed combo, and when it comes to playing the ball in the air, nobody's better. Marvin is as close to a guaranteed all-pro at the receiver position as you're going to get. Now, Jermaine Burton. He's a tough football player and plays with consistent high effort. He's a great athlete who can stretch the field vertically with his speed and can adjust well to passes downfield. He's also an effective blocker. His release and route running aren't great, and he doesn't fare well against press, so he's going to the wide receiver 4 tier. Johnny Wilson, this guy is also underrated. He's an anomaly in height, but he has legit athleticism and route running ability. Whether he makes the transition to tight end or not, he's still a weapon, which is why I have him as a high wide receiver 2. Adonai Mitchell, star, he's got it all. Good size at 6'2", 205. Great release ability, good route running, field stretching, speed, and explosiveness. He can win contested catches, but even with all that, his production last year wasn't amazing. I'd love to see how he can develop with more touches. I like McConkey's separation ability more, and I saw more from him on tape, which is why I'm going to slide Mitchell behind him. I think Ladd gets into his routes quicker and is more purposeful with his stems, which is why I can easily see him translating well to the NFL. Now Roman Wilson, the lone national champion here. He's going right into wide receiver 3 / wide receiver 4. He's got quick feet and is nifty with creating space, but he lacks size or long speed. He was used all over the field in Michigan's offense as a weapon, which is what allowed him to be successful, but I can't imagine an NFL team giving him that much spotlight in their offense. Xavier Legette, the dark horse of this class, he has an elite build and flies around the field. He's a top deep threat. He's a bully with the ball in the air and has a great catch radius. He seems taller than 6'1" when you watch him on tape. He's a physically imposing receiver who will make an immediate impact on his team. He also just finished crushing the combine. Jalen Polk, to the top of the wide receiver 3 / wide receiver 4 tier. He's amazing at adjusting to passes and has great hands on top of being a good athlete. He just doesn't create enough for himself as a route runner and isn't fluid moving laterally. He can be productive in the NFL, but needs to be schemed open. He's a sleeper for me and can be a quality selection for some team later in the second round or on day 3. Troy Franklin, a great vertical weapon who is fast and very agile. He has a good feeling for space and leverage and knows how to create a throwing window for his QB. He can be an explosive wide receiver 2 for a team in the NFL. His limited size and ability in the short area hampers his value though. He also had a 10.0 drop percentage. Odunze, he's an alpha receiver. He's fast off the line and is top notch at the catch point. He's strong enough to fight off defenders and is exceptional at locating the ball. He's a tough football player that's easy to like. He doesn't separate a lot, but he does everything else at a high level, and he can be a star receiver in the NFL. Lastly, Mr. 4.21 speed, Xavier Worthy. Defenses will be making sure to locate him on every play. He can take the top off a defense with ease. His speed is there on tape, and he's also a tough dude who can take contact. He tracks balls really well. He, like Troy Franklin, can be a great secondary weapon for an offense, and he deserves to be in the wide receiver 2 category. So that's my official tier list. Let me know what you guys think. That's all from me, and I'm out.